Yo guys, what is going on? Welcome back to another video. This video will be called Hold Loosely to Things of This World. Now, why is it titled that? Well, because we are going to learn today how to hold loosely to the things of this world. And of course, that has to relate with the Bible and being a Christian. But before we get into that, I just wanted to say if anyone has any videos you necessarily want me to shoot, I have been doing a lot with my business, have been learning a lot. So if anyone, I don't know, maybe wants me to do some learnings, a video about the learnings I've done, feel free to drop a comment. If you want a day in the life of how I am now, because I've been pretty locked in, even with the gym, which is great. I'm locked in at the moment, and that's because guide me, Lord. We are being guided by the Lord, and we're not doing it for ourselves anymore. But my next video there, I don't know if you can see it, is about recent business learning. So next video is going to be a business one for anyone who wants to watch that. But without further ado, let's get into this video. It is going to be probably another 10-15 minute video, so hopefully you guys take away something from it. But this is something that I have been recently learning about, which is holding very loosely to things in general, right? So this can come in forms of goals you have, things you do, and just general attachments. So I want to break down basically what that means for me. And this is not AI generated, guys. Like this whole document I have here, I make sure to handwrite these. I don't even get AI to check them, might in the future. But I did get AI to give me Bible references last video, but I don't need it this video. So anyway, first one, having goals. Why could this potentially be a bad thing? So I'm going to break this down for myself first, and my goal has to do something surrounding with having 9 figures or doing something with 9 figures. I don't know if I've mentioned it in another video, but recently what I've been learning is hold that goal loosely. Why am I holding this goal loosely? Well, if God shows me another direction to move in, I don't want to hesitate that much anyway. I am human. But if he goes, Louis, your life was just meant for average salary or maybe just above average, and I need you to steal it elsewhere. Hold loosely to the goal, right? What are you going to do? You're going to say, no, God, my will is higher than yours. I'm going to pursue this anyway. That's when it becomes very dangerous, right? So that's what I mean in terms of goals specifically. That can be very dangerous. Things you do when attachments, just to quickly summarize that, is basically, let's just say you love visiting your family. It's a very good thing to do, right? But let's just say you love visiting your family that much that you visit them every night and you got no time for yourself and no time set aside for God. So you're spending 4 hours a day with family, but no time at all with God. So maybe instead of hanging out with family a couple of days, you can instead read the Bible, watch church, whatever it might be. That's informative and going to grow you with God. That's when things start to get dangerous. The North Star of this is you and God. Nothing comes in between the hands right here. So let's just say this is your family. If it starts becoming like that and your family are getting in between you and God, and you start putting your family without actually realizing before God, then that can become a really dangerous thing. And a lot of these things we do unintentionally, and I will say is still our fault, because if you were reading the Bible, if you are actively trying to learn, you would figure these things out, but we're just not doing that enough. And that's why I'm figuring this out as a 24-year-old and not a 16-year-old. But it's all about lessons, all about growth. We just need to use social media and the time we have in the right way. But what I basically wanted to wrap this around to was an amazing Bible story that I actually read yesterday. This video has been planned for a while, and it's amazing that this Bible story came up yesterday. It's quite good. But basically, it's the story of Abraham. Now, for those who don't know it, I'll quickly explain it, and I did write it down. Abraham was a guy, and I'm not going to explain this perfectly. I'm explaining it how I remember it. I didn't re-look at it. But Abraham wanted kids, and I think specifically a son. So God told Abraham that eventually he would have a son. And Abraham waited a very long time. Eventually, Abraham did get this son. Now, eventually, the son was growing up. Abraham got very close with the son, spending a lot of time with the son. And what God saw was, wait a minute, the gift I've given Abraham has now replaced me. His child is now more important than me. So God goes to Abraham and says, Abraham, I need you to offer your son as a burnt sacrifice to me to please me. Now God was basically testing Abraham here to see where does his heart lie. If God was first, Abraham will go and do the burnt offering. Basically, Abraham wrestled with the idea and eventually came to the conclusion that he will do it. So Abraham was very sorrowful. He eventually plotted to kill his own son. And then right before he was about to kill his son, God stopped him and said, stop, that's all good. I just wanted to see where your heart lies. And that is truly to the most extreme extent that you could go, putting God first. Now, it's very easy, or might not be very easy, but it's easier to do it with things like not putting certain things above God. Let's just say social media, for example, right? But when it comes to examples that you think are good, how can hanging out with my family too much possibly be a bad thing? Well, it can be. If it's getting between you and God and it's not growing you with God, let's just say your family might not be as close to God, you don't have many conversations with them, whatever it might be, that's when it starts getting dangerous. And basically, the moral of the story is hold loosely to things of this world. And that's things like if we attach our identities in cars, money, and fame, these are idols between us and God. So I'm sure if you're watching this, when it says in the Bible, it is better for you to cut off your right hand than to enter the kingdom of it's better to cut off your right hand and enter the kingdom of heaven than to have your right hand, have your whole body, and go into hell. So basically what this translates to here, let's just say in terms of getting rich, it is better for you to never get rich if it's going to cause you to sin and go to hell, than you can just never be rich but go into the kingdom of heaven. Because when you think about eternity, our life here for 100 years is nothing but a speck. It says that in the Bible as well. So basically what this concludes to is we need to analyze every part of our life, because even things, good things like family, can become idols in our life. Our partners, our cars, our vision, our desires. It's just let's just imagine for me, I'm working really hard towards getting my e-com store at a good state. Cool. I eventually get it at a good state. Awesome. But then to use the gift of God and replace God with it, because now we have that gift. I've got money. That means, oh, sorry, God, I have so much money. I can't go to church as much. I can't pray as much. I just can't seem to find the time anymore. I have so much money and so much stress. Take a step back, because if getting money is going to separate you from God, you should not want money. And I've told God, I'd said it myself, if I don't deserve money and if it's going to get in between you and me, just don't give it to me. Simple. That's why I'm trying my best to hold loosely to my goals and become a man who can have something like $100 million sitting in front of him and do the right thing. Okay? Might not mean, and I haven't analyzed this enough to have a proper statement, that does not mean I can't buy a Porsche. That does not mean I can't go on nice flights, go on nice holidays. I'm pretty sure that God would want you to enjoy the fruits of your labor. But again, hold loosely to what I'm saying, because I haven't analyzed what I'm saying, right? So you need to literally analyze every part of your life to make sure it's good. But the fruit that God gives you, the gift, should never replace God himself. That's what Abraham's son did to God, replaced him. So it's very counterproductive for us to have a gift from God and God knows it's going to replace him. I would never want the gift in the first place, okay? The goal in life is to prepare ourselves for the kingdom of heaven. And if I know I'm going to get money, I can drive cars, whatever, that's all going to fade in a blink of an eye when we pass away. Just like in a blink of an eye, I'm 24 years old. In a blink of an eye, I'll be old and close to death, and I'm going to regret a lot of things if I do it wrong. And that's basically it for this video. Again, I hope you guys learned something today. Just please let me know if you need further explanation or you feel stuck, lost on anything. Reach out to me on Instagram. I don't go on it that much, but I do check it every now and then because I've got a couple people who message me about a couple things and I'm happy to help out. I got nothing to sell you, so please don't worry about that. But I hope you guys have a blessed rest of your day. Remember, do the work daily. Never forget God. Peace.